any moment. And okay, so let me get the notification going here that we are officially live. And authentication with Okta in Gatsby apps.
Oh, use Okta
Aaron.
Dev on Twitter if you're going to tweet.
Okta Dev, got it. Okay, and then you'll probably want to mute the audio from Twitch because that'll be a really, really goofy, like,
Nice
couple
little
second
feedback
delay.
loop there.
Okay, twitch.tv, and okay, let's do this. So, Aaron, thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about auth today. So maybe just start by kind of introducing yourself, telling us who you are, what you're about, all that good stuff.
Yeah, sure. I'm Aaron Parecki, Aaron PK on the internet. I deal with authentication a lot, all the time. And I'm a developer advocate at Okta, and Okta is a quick way to add authentication to apps. So we are there to make your life easy as you're building out applications that deal with user authentication in some way. I have written a book on OAuth. I do talks on OAuth all the time. So this is like definitely my world of things that I live in.
Awesome. Well, cool. So, and this is going to be fun for us because like I don't have a whole lot of experience with authentication. The extent of my experience has been using it when somebody else has already built it, and then I've implemented it once when I built the Gatsby Swag Store. So that's kind of the full extent of what I've done inside of authentication. And so Okta is obviously a big company. Is authentication like? Can you talk a little bit kind of about maybe the breadth of what Okta does?
Yeah, sure. So I'm on the team on Okta that deals with that works with developers. So what you see from the developer website is the product that is the team I'm on. So Okta, if you've ever heard of Okta or used it at work, you've probably used the other half of the house, which is the like IT enterprise single sign-on part of Okta, and that's where you get your one account for your business, and then you can log into all your company's internal apps using Okta, which is a lot better than having passwords for each individual one. But that is not what we're talking about today, because today we're on the developer half of the house. So this is a tool that lets you manage authentication in your own applications. So that's going to be if you need to build a sign up form or have users log into stuff and you don't want to deal with it because it turns out dealing with passwords is not fun, to say the least, and sometimes dangerous, then you basically can just let us deal with it for you.
Okay, I'm activating my account off screen here. I've just been signing up in the background as
Great.
you go through here.
Yep.
Let's see. And they sent me a username and password, so I need to open this over here. All right. And so is there like would I want to be at a certain size if I was a like to use Okta? Is it kind of a must be this enterprise to ride kind of deal?
No, totally. So the developer accounts that we have are actually free forever up to a limited number of users. I think it's 1,000 active users a month. But this is for companies of any size building out products. So this is the developer tool that we're going through here is definitely meant for companies of any size that are building out. It's actually a great way to start building an app because you can just sort of skip over the whole step of dealing with passwords in a user database and just let Okta handle it for you, which is makes things a lot faster to get going.
I'm going to pull these off screen so that I'm not
Yeah.
sharing my. Yeah, let me get that. So I don't know about you, but my security question is always just some random hash. I love it when I get asked those on the phone, and I'm like, okay, get ready, because this is 36 characters long, and it's not going to make a lot of sense. Let's see, create my account, and okay, I have an account. So very cool. Let's look at what we're doing here. So I've got my account, and now we're looking at React. So what do we need to do to get this actually running? Like, should we just
Yeah,
jump
that's a
through
great
these
question.
hoops, you
So
think?
I will admit I haven't actually used Gatsby before, so I'm totally new to that side of things. So tell me
Excellent.
a little bit about the architecture here that we're working with.
Sure. So Gatsby is it's a web app framework that kind of follows the static site generator setup. So what we'll do is we'll be building a series of React files that we will then build ahead of time. So kind of all the data that we can will get loaded early and put into the templates. But obviously with authentication, we're not going to be able to do that. We wouldn't want to just put user information into these templates and publish those somewhere, because then anybody who knew the path name would be able to theoretically get them. So instead, what we do with Gatsby is because Gatsby is built with React, we're able to wait, is my image still frozen? Sorry, we're seeing in the chat that things are broken. Is the video working now? Let's see. Oh no, my video is still frozen. Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Let me try poking some buttons on
Oh no.
here to see if I can get this to. Do I enable HD? No. Maybe try that. How's this?
Oh, there you go.
No? Wait, am I alive? Hey, okay.
can-
All right.
Great.
Okay. So sometimes you just got to click buttons until things start to work. So what we're going to do here is we're going to build out the site, and I'm going to do it from scratch so that we can see all the pieces. Let's see. Yeah, we're getting some reports that the video quality is not good. So
Like the whole stream or just our cameras?
is it yeah, that's actually a good question. Is it like our face videos? Okay. So I just checked the enable HD button. That may or may not work. And if it doesn't, I am very sorry. We'll have to look
Hopefully
into
the screen looks better, because that's the important part here.
yeah. So I apologize. You might just get our blurry faces.
Weird, yeah.
And I will look into a way. Aw, thanks. They said we're still good looking. Okay, so let's dig into this. I'm gonna actually set up a Gatsby site here, and I'm gonna use our default starter, or our Hello World starter, because I want to make sure that everything we build is something that we've written. Like, I don't want to start with boilerplate that we may or may not understand.
I'm seeing some questions in the chat. So Okta is free for up to 1,000 users a month, which
Cool.
means if you're building a site that's going to have like a small number of users, just a couple of people, and for testing it out, it's completely free forever. And then if you're going to have over 1,000 users logging in per month, then you get into the paid plans. And it's like tiered pricing. I don't remember the pricing exactly, but you can check it out on the page.
Cool. Let me look at my.
But yeah, it's not like a time limited trial or anything. It's actually just a free account.
Cool. So awesome. In that case, let's look at what we want to do here. So the thing that I want to do is I want to build a homepage, and that homepage is then going to give us access to like a dashboard. And so we're not actually going to build any backends where the authenticated content would be today, but we're going to set up the kind of protected dashboard where you would be able to like use that content. So let's start by just putting together kind of a basic page layout. So I'm going to do a components layout.js, and we'll pull in React, and let's just kind of set up, let's see, const layout equals, we're going to use the children, and we can just kind of send back we'll use a div, and that div, or let's do a React fragment so we don't put extra junk into the DOM. We'll do a header. That header is going to be, I don't know, let's do a background of blue and a color of white. And then we can probably stop there. And let's say like my sweet app. And in here, we're going to do a div, or we'll call it main. And we want to do some basic styling on this. So we'll do like a margin of 5VW auto, not what I wanted, percent rems. We'll get there. And we'll just make that a width of 90% and a max width of, let's say, 600 pixels. So we can just do 600. And then in here, we can put the children. And so if we use this, then we can do an import layout from components layout, and then we'll just swap this into here. So that gives us, if I'm doing this properly, let's start the server. Let's do a yarn develop. Okay. Layout is assigned a value. Oh, I forgot to export it. So let's go back in here, and I'm going to export this layout. Export default layout. Okay, that should fix that problem. And we should be able to go to localhost 8000, and we can see our very goofy looking app because I'm not doing a lot of styling here. Let's maybe add a little bit of padding to this header, and then I'll stop thinking about the styling. I do this every stream where I'm like, oh, I'm only going to fix this one more thing. And it's never just one more thing. Good enough.
Oh,
so
that blue is going to drive me mad.
You want me to
change
fix
that
it?
Change it to like 339.
Better?
It's a little more muted.
All right. I don't want to upset your sensibilities here. Yeah. But cool. So yes, let's talk about how we're going to make this actual setup. So we would want the no, we'll make this a span because it's going to be the home. Wait, what would that be? That's going to be the home link. I don't know what I'm doing. We're going to import link from Gatsby, and this is for internal links. And I'm going to make this one a link to the home page, and I'm going to make another link, which will be to our dashboard. And now we actually want to fix this, I think, to be a client-only route, which means I need to fix those colors.
So what does a client-only route mean?
So a client-only route is going to be a, let's set margin right to 1 rem so that we can actually read things. Okay, perfect. So this takes us home. This will take us to dashboard. And so if we were to just do something like, let's say, go into pages, and we did dashboard.js, and then I could take this index, could copy it, paste it, and say dashboard. Then this looks correct from what we want. Like, we've got the pages that we want. However, this is going to get built to static HTML, so we're not protecting anything.
Yeah.
So we could do this a couple ways. We could do this, and we could just authenticate the component that gets passed through here. And maybe that's actually acceptable in this particular use case. Another way that we could solve this problem is we could go to what are called client-only routes. And that would give us, let's see, here. That would give us the ability to say, like, I only want, like, anything that's under /app, I want to be passed to a custom React router. And so maybe for the sake of just kind of keeping things simple, we won't do this today, because this would be like if your dashboard had an account section and a settings section and a like a analytics or whatever you wanted on your private dashboard that would be kind of user data. This would be the way that you would actually solve that problem. You would say, so anything that's under /app is going to be routed by React router, and it's not going to be server rendered. So we can protect that content. We're never saying, like, here's user data, like, put this into a static file that someone could touch. So there are a lot of ways that we could solve this problem. I think for the sake of focusing on authentication and not specifically building Gatsby apps, let's maybe do, we want this to be authenticated content. So we want to require authentication to see this content. So let's get back into here and look at this React quick start. So this is where I'm going to need your help, because it looks like we're doing stuff that I've never heard of. So what's an OpenID Connect client?
Great question. So OpenID Connect is the sort of open standard that deals with authentication, and that is what Okta is based on. So OpenID Connect is a way for the OpenID Connect server to provide to log people in and then provide a token that the app can use to verify that the user did in fact log in. So the job of the Gatsby app is going to be to request one of these tokens, start the flow, and then verify at the end to know, so that it knows that the user did log in and knows who they are.
Okay. So do I create this in my dashboard?
Yeah. So if you signed up, you should have a tab open for your dashboard now, so that you can go to applications.
Applications.
And then click Add New Application. And then create Single Page App, which will enable the right options, Okta Gatsby, and then make sure that base URL is where the app is running, which I think we're on a different port.
Yeah.
And then this redirect URL is where you want to redirect back to after we're logged in. So
okay,
depending on how this app is going to work, we can make a route called callback, or we can do it on the index page. So I'm not quite sure how Gatsby is going to want to handle that, but we can start with that and see how it works.
Maybe this would be a good part, or a good section to kind of talk about what this workflow looks like. So why does the redirect exist? What does it do?
So when you have a login link in Gatsby, it's going to actually send the user over to the Okta login page, and then the user is going to type in their password there, create the account, type in the password, that kind of thing. And then that's all going to happen out of our application, right? It can happen off domain on something that Okta manages. And then after the user logs in, Okta is going to send the user back to the Gatsby app, and it has to send them somewhere that's ready to catch that. and someone
Okay.
that's ready to then be able to verify the token and remember it and sign them in.
So it's basically, is it going to post, or does that send as a get, or what comes back?
Yeah, so it's going to actually redirect the user's browser to that URL if we're doing like the normal OpenD Connect flow.
Mm-hmm.
So the user's going to be on Gatsby, and they're going to click login, and they're going to end up on Okta. And like the address in the browser is going to be Okta. And then after they finish logging in, Okta sends them back to Gatsby with just a GET request to that callback URL.
Got it. Okay.
And that's the sort of like manual OpenD Connect flow. What I'm actually have to double check now is whether this quick start we're going through for React is going to do that, or if it's going to do it sort of like built in where it all just kind of happens silently on the Gatsby site in front end code, where that whole exchange sort of happens behind the scenes.
Okay.
Because we can do it either way.
Okay. Yeah, let's try it. So I'm creating my app.
So yeah, now that you've created the app and enabled OpenD Connect, that client ID is what we need to plug in to the app, which is going to identify this application into the whole system.
Okay. And I get that app. We've got all of this. Okay. And so this is my org URL is this one minus the admin, right?
Yep, exactly. And it figured it out and put it on that doc page, which is kind of a cool feature.
Yeah, that's handy. All right, so we're getting into some React stuff here. So let's add this. We're gonna do yarn add, because I can't not use yarn. I'm sorry. Okta React.
Is using yarn bad? I don't.
No, I don't know. It's always kind of like that preference thing, where you're either really into NPM or I don't know. I don't know if any people are really into it. It's not CSS and JS or anything. Let's see here. So then so we've got that, and we're going to use the values. Okay. And so this is on our callback page.
So this is like just configuring the React, the Okta SDK. So, because it's going to need this for everything.
Okay. Okay. So we're going to need this to be available to like all components. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This should just sort of like be in the initiation of the app.
Okay. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to create, how do we want to do this? What we're going to have to do is wrap the root component. And so I'm going to do Gatsby browser, and we need this to be out here. And I also am going to do Gatsby SSR, because that'll have to be true in both places. But this code is going to be identical. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, what would I call this? Utils, and we'll call it wrap root element.js. And this is just going to be a React component. And that React component is going to be a auth wrapper. And what did that look like? I guess that's not actually what I'm doing, is it? I'm putting this into the app.js, but where does it go into the app.js?
It's just making a config object that we're going to be able to pass into the when we actually initiate the client.
Okay. Update your app.js. Okay, so that gets passed in. And security is just I guess I'm a little. So security is what actually is protecting, right? The thing that is here needs to be covered, or am I
right? So that's the library that's doing the work. So it needs to be told like what is the client ID, where is the Okta server, and that kind of thing.
Okay, and is anything that's inside of this protected? Like, can you get to home without logging in at this point?
You should be able to get to home without logging in. That's yeah.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure that I understand what's going on. So we're creating this security and implicit callback, and So let me just go back up. Or actually, I guess here, because this is going to make more sense to me. We're going to import security, implicit callback. There's a question in the chat about the difference between Gatsby browser and Gatsby SSR. The difference is when they're run. And so Gatsby browser runs on the client side, and Gatsby SSR runs during Gatsby build on the server side. And so in a lot of cases, the code in them will be the same, but there are definitely cases where that's not the case, and that's why they're separate. Okay, so I need to set up this config, and my config is going to have an issuer, a redirect URI, and a client ID. I think that's the thing I've been toting around with me. So my redirect URI, so this would be a problem for Gatsby because during builds, we don't have a window object to reference. So what we can
So that's
do,
really just a way to get the base URL of the URL of the app. So if you have some other way where it knows what port it's running on and that kind of stuff, just use that.
Make this production capable.
For
now, we're going to hard code it.
For now.
Yeah.
That works. That works.
And we called it callback. And the issuer was, I do really like that just gets put together so that I don't have to go find that somewhere. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to const, we'll call this auth wrapper. And this one gets, I think, what is it? It's element. Let me look that up just to make sure that I don't mislead anybody. It's Gatsby wrap root element. And that's down here. And that is, yeah, it's the element. So what we're going to do is just return what did we want to call this? Just security? Where was it? Security. And that needed the issuer config.issuer. These are all the same. Actually, what I'm going to do for the sake of simplicity here is just spread that because it needs the props to match these. We set those appropriately so we can just do that. And then I'm going to put this in here. Oh, and then the implicit callback is going to be set elsewhere because that's actually going to live in the component that uses it, not necessarily in the route here. So this is going to be interesting. I'm going to see how this works. And with this, I guess what I can do is I'm going to call this wrap root element. And we're going to export default wrap root element because effectively what we're doing when we wrap the root element is we're just telling Gatsby to put something around the whole site. And so by default, we just take the pages and we wrap them in kind of a general wrapper div, but like we have a couple things that we do, but anything that you would want to do, like this layout, is going to get unmounted and remounted on every page. So if you didn't want to do that, like if you knew for sure you wanted this to be kind of stably mounted and everything, you could use wrap root element to put that around everything on the page. That's really kind of a decision that you can make as you go. But we are going to come in here and do export. Well, let's do it this way. we're going to import wrap root element from components, nope, from source, and then components, nope, utils, I'm going to get there, wrap root element. And then we can do an export wrap root element. Why doesn't it like that? What's it complaining about? Declaration or statement expected. Why isn't that working?
Is this, is it because, does it need to get defined in that scope or something?
Well, it should
Importing
be.
it not enough?
Maybe I can do it this way. Source, utils, wrap root element. Is that going to work? Seems to like that one. Let's see if that gives us any problems. And then in the wrap root element file, we're not actually using the implicit callback. We're instead going to create a page called callback. And that will need to be, oops, just, jeez. Okay, here we go. I'm struggling this morning. Implicit callback. And then what is this going to be? This is a great question. We're probably just gonna have to experiment and see what happens here, because the implicit callback, I assume, is just getting rendered, and it's gonna do something and redirect you somewhere else.
Yeah. So the SDK is going to be the one that's going to be dealing with all this. So we just need to like make sure the SDK is available at that page, because then it's going to handle doing the verification and stuff like that, and eventually redirect back where we started from.
Got it. Okay. So let's do callback equals, we're just going to send off implicit callback and see what it does. Let's see what happens if we save this, and we can go back to the terminal here and see if anything explodes. We'll just kind of test it. Right now, nothing should happen.
It's a lot of code to write without running it.
And we've got a problem. Let's see.
Where did that start?
It started here. Can't resolve React router. Uh-oh. So if Okta is relying on React router, that puts us in kind of a weird position, because we use reach router under the hood. Although I guess we could just install React router if we needed to.
If that isn't going to work, we might have to fall back and do this manually.
Okay. Maybe let's see. How gnarly is that with the plain JavaScript?
Let's see. There's two options. Mm-hmm. One is going to be installing a library that can do JOT validation. So JSON Web Token is the format of OpenID tokens, and that is a way that that's like what's happening under the hood that this SDK deals with. So the end result of the OpenID flow is that there is an ID token sent back, and that's a JOT, and it needs to be verified, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Thankfully, the SDK handles it for us. The other option is if we stay in front end only, and don't try to do anything sort of like server side, we can actually use the Okta sign-in widget, because that's like a little essentially you can like get a little form that gets embedded into the web page we're making.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to do everything on the page without redirects and without page reloads. And the end result of that is that in JavaScript, the user information is returned back to us, and then we can use it.
Okay.
So I'm not totally sure how that fits in with the sort of Gatsby method of this sort of hybrid of like server rendered pages and also client side.
Well, so the nice thing about anything that we're doing with auth is that it's completely limited to client side. So we can treat it as a fully client side app in terms of how we build it. We just need to make sure that it is properly escaped so that when we do the build, it doesn't break for like wanting the window to be available.
So in this case, the widget is going to be like entirely front end, where you shouldn't even need to touch any of the back end or the server generated code.
Okay, perfect.
This might be the easier way to do it, just because it'll sort of stay out of the router land, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think easy is probably what we want to aim for here to make sure that we walk away with working authentication. So let's do that. So okay, let's roll a few things back then. We're gonna get rid of this.
Okay.
We can drop whatever. I'm just gonna delete this. I'm going to delete this. Okay. I'm going to go in and let's also delete these two. And let's delete here. And finally, let's go in here and let's not use the React library. So we'll come back over here and just get rid of anything that we're not using. Okay, and so that should put us back to a kind of blank slate. Let's just verify that I didn't leave anything hanging in there.
So you took out the Okta SDK, right?
Yes, I think.
Great. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we're back to kind of a blank slate here. Make that slightly bigger. So yeah, we've got our homepage that's going to be unauthenticated. We've got a dashboard that needs to be authenticated, and we are now moving on to the sign-in widget.
Yep. So the way this one works is you put in this Okta hosted code. You can or you can download it. Like we have a build step if you want to host it locally. But the easy way is you just like paste in those the JavaScript and CSS.
Mm-hmm.
Put that on the page where you want the login form to appear. And then that JavaScript code that you just scrolled by, that initiates it. So that's basically, again, you can see like it's asking for these config options that have your URL and client ID and stuff in it.
Got it.
And then this is just pure front end JavaScript code, which is going to tell the widget like, hey, you should appear now, and ask the user to log in. And then instead of a redirect, it's going to happen all on the page without a reload. And then the result of this function is, hey, the user, here's the ID token that corresponds to the user who logged in.
Okay, so just reading this to make sure that I understand it, what we're looking for is we do this sign in, and if they've got a token, or this is the callback, if it has tokens in URL.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Okta's going to grab that information and set things so that we know that somebody's logged in. And then if they don't have that, it's going to run the session and get someone's login status or show them the login button. Is that correct?
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Or wait, the widget will automatically redirect the user to Okta for authentication, then back to this page if successful. Okay, I understand. So what we're going to be doing then is we need to pull this in and make sure that we execute this code only on our dashboard page.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. On the page you want to redirect the user to sign in.
Okay. So this will be fine.
Sorry. So the first chunk is the callback.
The first chunk is the callback.
So if there are tokens in the URL,
Right.
that's on our callback page. And then the bottom part says if they are logged in, welcome back. And if they're not logged in, then redirect them out.
Okay. Does it use a callback URL? Because this looked like it was kind of in place.
Yeah, there's actually two different ways this one works. And I was looking at the docs of the inline version, and this appears to be the docs for the redirect version.
Oh, is there an inline version? Did I miss it?
There is. Let me see if it's on. I think it's on. Let me send a link in the chat. So this is we ended up on the quick start here, but there's a different URL which describes the widget, and this one is the inline version.
Oh, okay. Sign in widget guide. Okay. To use the CDN. Let's not use the CDN because importing third-party scripts is probably not what we want to do. So I'm going to come back over here. We're going to do a yarn add sign-in widget. Let's see if it asks me for any peer dependencies that I don't have. Nope, that's just Gatsby complaining about stuff that we should expect it to complain about. And then we are going to bundle this. Okay, so we should be able to just do all of that. And I'm just doing that on my dashboard page. Hold on. I feel like I'm missing something. So if you are bundling your access,
you're going to need it on the page where you want the login form to appear and any pages that are going to be protected.
Okay. And we are going to do that. So I guess we can just do that in our layout then, because we want to log out or log in on the home page.
Yeah, and importing it is just making it available. It's not going to cause anything to happen unless we tell it to happen.
Okay. And I'm assuming this is expected to not be used, or wait, no, this is what I'm going to use here.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
So that chunk that you're looking at now is how you tell the form to appear. So that widget container, that HTML element is where the login form is going to be written to. Okay. And then we initiate the Okta sign-in widget on that first line of JavaScript, and then tell it to render it into that element.
Got it. So that means we need to get this into the DOM, yep, which is going to require us to use the HTML.js. So this is kind of a...
I mean, it just needs some DOM element to write the widget into. So however you want to get that to appear should work.
Yeah. Let me see. Where do I know where to find this. Gatsby HTML.js. How do I get this? It's in .cache. That's right. Thank you. I love the chat is so helpful because there's so many things that I look at and forget, and then let's see, where the hell is it? Wait, where is it? HTML.js. Am I looking right at it? Oh man, I know it's in here. I was looking right at it. Okay. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to create, let's see, the HTML.js needs to go into, oh my God, I was looking right at the script. Cool. Okay. Good on me for reading comprehension. We're going to do this. We're going to drop this in here. And then I don't need to change much. I just need to get the basics of, let's see, React create default element. And, oh man, I thought there was an easier way to do this. I want this to be create default element div. Is this right? This seems like a lot. Just going to push some buttons and hope for the best here. That's not right.
So is this giving us a way to insert HTML into the DOM? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, so I am going to make an ID here that's just got, it doesn't need any dangerously set inner HTML. It just needs to exist, so I can drop that. And I'm going to make that ID line up with what Okta is asking for, which is widget container.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's just as long as you know what it's called.
Okay, so that then should work, and I can do this this sign-in widget. Although now I'm thinking that probably needs to be in Gatsby browser, and we'll wrap the. Let's see, do Gatsby browser. Okay, we are stretching the limits of my ability to customize Gatsby today, which is good. That's what I need. So then we've got this script that we need to get in here, so we can take this and we're going to, let's see. So just to have this in front of me so I can see it. Not helpful. There we go. I've got my widget container. I've got to do all this stuff. And the stuff that I need to do needs to be attached to the window. And that is stuff that I want to run on component did mount, I assume. So we can do an export default wrap root element. I'm hoping I'm not severely overcomplicating this. We're going to do the element again, and we will do, or I guess this needs to be a class now. No, it doesn't. So the class is going to be up here. Class auth wrapper extends React component, and that is going to have a oh my god, component did mount, and that will have all of this, I think. Boy, I hope that works. And then down here, we're going to do the element. And we can just do auth wrapper around the element. And hope for the best.
So this Gatsby browser.js, is this running only in the front end? Is that the idea? It's only client side?
Exactly, yeah. And so a question came in too about why I had to modify the HTML.js. There is a possibility that I don't need to do that. We're kind of hitting the extent of, like, one of the things that gets weird when you're dealing with React and not React is executing kind of arbitrary JavaScript and making sure that it doesn't unmount and remount. And I don't have like really deep knowledge of exactly how Gatsby or exactly how React is going to fire those things up. And so what I'm trying to do is get something that's completely outside of the Gatsby lifecycle. So the entire Gatsby app is going to render in here, right? And so what I want is something that Gatsby never touches, which is this Okta widget container, so that it only mounts once. That's my goal. And my reasoning for that is that way, when this auth wrapper mounts, which is going to be around the root element, which will only mount once per page load, then it's going to do this work outside of the Gatsby lifecycle. And then we have the what I hope will be a working auth flow. So let's see if I need to do anything else before this actually works. So that's what we wanted. I'm not going to worry about that just yet.
Yeah, so this should be enough. If you go look at the code again, if you look at what is that res status equals success, at that point, that represents the logged in user.
Okay. And is this sign in, is this just going to pop up when I...
It's going to like put it into that div that you made inline.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe what we should do at this point is just give this a shot and see what happens. And see how severely overcomplicated I made this.
Yeah.
React is not defined. Wrap root element is not defined. I did all sorts of stuff. Let's see here. I meant to... Oh. So that needs to be a const. And React needs to be imported. React from React. What else did I do? React must be in scope. Okay, so that should be all the problems. So let's come back and try this one more time. There are people from the Gatsby core team like Leonard, Lico Arts in the chat, who I'm sure is just screaming at his computer right now, like, why are you doing it like this? So I imagine this is very painful for you. So I appreciate you putting up with this. Let's see, what am I doing wrong? Go here. Uh-oh.
What does that mean?
React DOM development.
Excuse me.
Oh no, I bet I broke the HTML.js. Render root. Perform work. Oh God.
What happened? What happened?
I clearly did so many things. Render a root element. Okay, so something that I did is not doing what I wanted it to do. All right, let's just look at this code a bit and see if there's something, like if I just drop this entirely. Oh, it doesn't render. That's, God. Sometimes, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. Let's do, we're going to return React fragment, and that will have this.props.children. And I'm going to just cross my fingers that was actually the problem. Hey-o.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Okay, perfect. So that is, like, this is good, but how would I create an account? Like, does this give me the option?
Yeah, so there is a bunch of config you can set on the widget to decide how you want it to work.
Okay.
Including customizing what it looks like. There is, let me send you a link to a little playground where you can customize, let's see, Okta sign in widget live.
Okay. And while you do that, I'm going to try something. I just want to see if I have really overcomplicated this. And I'm
Okay.
just going to try adding like an Okta element here. And then I'm going to go into Gatsby browser and I'm going to try this instead. And I'm going to refresh. And it does in fact work inside of Gatsby without me having to do the HTML/JS. So let me drop this entirely because that was not something I ever wanted to maintain. And let me. This I'm okay with. This seems right because then we're only firing this when it's time to fire this. The other thing that I need is what would be really cool is if I could kind of trigger this on when we actually want to show it instead of kind of auto blowing away the login section. But we can deal with that. Ooh, neat. Okay, so we've got a ton of config here. I can play with my logo and everything.
Put in your domain after replace octave.com with gatsbyjs.org. That's a fun one. Just on that logo line. Yep.
Wait, why didn't you work? What?
There we go. Now got the logo and the button color change too.
That's super cool.
So that's where you can, so features, that's where you can decide what it should do. So that's registration true.
Oh,
whether you want
so
to remember me checkbox.
So if I did this, it would just hide that sign up button.
Right, which is the default. So that's why we didn't see it.
Multi-optional factor enroll. I assume these are things that I don't. Ooh, what's this?
So it's going to be like if you want to be able to do forgot password resets via SMS.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so there's all sorts of stuff in there.
Okay, so this is awesome.
But yeah, so we should probably do the registration true for the Gatsby one.
So I need to just like pull out a few of these things. So let's go back in here. I'm going to do.
So that's in that constructor. So expand that, yeah.
And then I can just do like this. And then we want to grab some features. And let's grab this one, registration true. And I like that remember me, so let's keep that one. What was it? Remember me is true.
Oh, and then add that S to features. You typed feature singular.
Features. Gotcha. Base URL set. Client ID I need to set, or I don't?
I think we said that somewhere else, didn't we?
I don't think so.
Or no? Oh, I guess not, because it's just there's just one of them.
Should I go get that?
Let's not do it for now, unless we need to.
Okay.
I think for the really simple case, it's not important.
Auth params, I probably want like the email. Or I guess I don't need the email, do I? I just need like, are these the defaults?
Let's see what comes back without saying email.
Okay. Let's do it. Set that. Come back over here. I'm going to look at my thing. And now I have a sign up button. All right, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit because this is kind of hard to read right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're missing a client ID, which makes me think that maybe that was required for... is that like because we don't have...
we might need to now add in those other parameters in order to enable that feature. Yeah, that might be what's going on.
Okay, so let's go back into my Okta dashboard. I'm going to grab this and go back over here and look at the, where was it? Here. And it was client ID. So let's do client ID. Try that. Let's come back out here, try again. I'm going to sign up. Still didn't like it.
Same.
Now it's giving me a 404 on the registration form.
form. So I think, let me try this out on mine. I think that might need the,
Do I need to enable
might
that
need
or
to
anything?
enable that in the auth server in Okta. So so there's going to be all these like policies where you have to configure to tell it that registration is allowed on the server, because it's not just something the client can do.
Okay.
Let me poke around on my side really quick and see how we can enable that.
Okay.
So let's just go through keep going with the normal, like assuming you already have an account, since you do have an account already.
I would just log in with this account?
Yeah. So your account, your admin account, the one that you logged into the Okta dashboard with, you can log into your app now with.
Cool. Hopefully I can find that. Let's see. Oh, crap. Oh, no. Did it not save? I'm going to have to do a password reset to get this to work. Okay. Let me pull this off screen.
Oh, did you not save the password?
Usually 1Password auto saves it, and it looks like it didn't this time. So let me run in real quick and just do a quick password reset.
Okay.
And how do I do that? Password reset. I'm gonna edit. No, none of these are passwords. Applications. No.
So the
Oh, I found it. Settings account.
okay.
Wait, maybe I didn't. Okay, I'm clearly doing something silly here. I don't see a password reset. I guess I just need to run the password reset, huh?
That would do it, yeah.
Okay, reset via email. And I'm going to pop up my email in another thing here. Okay. Password reset. Doing this in another window. Okay, so I have a problem, which is that apparently 1Password didn't save anything that I did, including the security question that I need to reset my password. So maybe what I'm going to do instead is create a new account. It's okay. It didn't take very long. So we are going, now I want developers.okta.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm going to answer this question in the chat.
Please do.
I will try. So the question is why we couldn't do the Okta React docs or the Okta React option in here. And my understanding, and I am new to Gatsby, so I apologize if I'm getting this wrong, but my understanding was that because Gatsby isn't a pure React solution, because it's actually doing this server rendering combo plus client side, the Okta React SDK assumes that it is entirely a front-end React app. And it's making assumptions that there are things like a router available and like a window object. And those assumptions don't apply in Gatsby's version of how it does, of how it uses React.
Well, so that's mostly accurate.
Okay.
It's more that Okta is assuming that we have, it's assuming that we have a instance of React router available, and that is not the case in Gatsby. We use Reach Router. And so what we're running into is that we would have to import a second router to make that work, which would be kind of a pain. And so we're just not doing that. So let me. All right, this time I'm actually going to save these passwords when they get generated. Password. Okay, generating. Doing it. Got it. All right, let's try this one more time. So I now have
Brand new Okta account.
I'm getting there. Now I'm getting validation problems on my security questions. This is going very well for me. Save. Okay. Try this. All right. So now I have an Okta account. And I'm going to pull this over here. We're going to have to sign in real quick. Yep. I'm going to use the password that I just saved.
Excellent. Nice security picture.
And here we go.
And you have a new URL as well up there.
Yes.
Notice that.
So I need to swap this and pull this over here. So now that's the account. And I need my other client ID, which is going to be
so under new application.
Applications. And that's going to be a single page app.
Change the port number and change the callback URL to make sure it's.
And so for this, I think we'll just keep it as root, and we'll deal with that if we need to later.
Sure. And then I found a place to enable registration if you want to do that as well.
Enable registration? Oh, good. Yeah, let's start with this. Yep. And so we've got registration, and then what do I need to do to enable actually doing that?
Back here in the users tab, up at the top, there is a drop down for registration.
Registration.
And here you can say enable registration. And there's a couple of options here. So I think that will now make that the default instead of having to specify in the options on the form.
Password.
So you can add more fields if you want to ask for the user's name, and then probably want to redirect back to this custom URL after they register.
Okay, and we're going to do put in for now
the home page again.
Or let's just do this. We're just going to make sure that we can get an actual login flow working because we're down to about 20 minutes to get this wrapped. So let's do that. And now, having saved this, if I refresh the page, I should see that I can log in with jasonlangsdorf.com, and I'm going to grab that password I created, sign in.
Okay, that is
something. So maybe what we can do, instead of logging the whole thing, we can just log the actual response, and let's see what comes back.
Yeah, let's see what that is. So, oh yeah, okay.
Jason@langsdorf.com. Okay, so we got some stuff back. That's cool. So it looks like there's just kind of maybe a bug in not a bug, but just like bad docs that are saying to touch whatever it was.
Oh yeah, because that was telling us to go to look at the res dot
session, and it
session
looks
dot
like there
token, and it should just be
is
res
no
dot.
session. There's no session or token, actually.
It's just there. Okay. So this is the successful response from Okta, and there's a couple things in here which I want to point out. So collapse that really quick.
Oh, yep.
So the end result of OpenID Connect is this ID token, which starts with that EYJ. That is that's where the data lives. And then the SDK has done the work of decoding that and verifying it. So now see the payload where it has like your email and stuff like that in it.
Yeah, so this is kind of a cool thing. Like if you've never looked at JOT tokens before, I guess that's kind of a repetitive acronym. It's just a JOT because the T in JOT is for token.
Yeah.
So if you've never looked at a JOT before, you have this kind of like header section, and then it uses a period to separate, and then you get into the actual payload, and then there's like some verification stuff. So what's interesting to us is the actual payload. And so Aaron, you were just saying like in here, we've got the email, we've got where it came from, when it expires.
Also, email verified and auth time, which is when you logged in.
Oh, cool. And so the auth time would be like, what would,
So it's
what would
last
I
time you
use
entered
that
your
for?
password.
Oh,
So in this case, it's the same as like when it was issued, but in if you like check that remember me checkbox and then try to log in again, it'll be like the last time you entered your password.
so you could do something like after, X number of days, like always require a new login, even if they've checked remember me or something like that.
Yeah, totally. You can configure that on the Okta side. Okay, so we know what's in the claim. So go back to the console,
Got it.
and then what the SDK has done is done the JOT validation itself, and then extracted everything into that claims property. So you actually just have immediate access to all those values without dealing with a JOT library.
And
So you can
how would I do something? So like if I refresh, it's not going to be logged in, is it?
Right. So, and that's because of the way we've set up how we've used this. So let's see, the code that we've got for the widget just says, render the widget now. Probably what you want to do is remember that the user is logged in, like has a token already, and only show the widget if they're not logged in. So if you go back to the docs on that sign-in widget page, which I think were the ones we were looking at last, one of those tabs. Yeah, that one. So scroll down a little more down to the example of sign into your application, that one. So this is probably gonna be more like what we want to do. Because if you look at the JavaScript here, there's this is doing the redirect again. That's fine. We can, but more importantly, after the user is logged in, that sign-in.token manager stuff. That's like
token manager here.
Yeah, so that's like telling it to remember the ID token so that you can then check if there is a token in the session already, and be logged in already. Let me see. I wrote this code yesterday that does exactly this, which is create the sign-in Okta sign-in object, and then it does it tries to get the session, the active session, and if there is an active session, it just prints out the token, and if there isn't, it will show the sign-in page. And I'm trying to remember where I found this example now, because I thought it was on this page we're looking at, and it's not.
Okay. I mean, it looks like we've got enough that we could do something here, because like there's a set cookie and redirect, which is kind of interesting. there is... How do I get to this set cookie and redirect? Is that something that I have access to?
Should be, yeah. Actually, I don't think you want to do that because that's talking about how to get people into Okta dashboard, which we don't care about right now.
Oh, okay.
You don't want your users to ever see Okta really in this case. So I see what I was doing yesterday. I was going through this blog post, which is possibly relevant, although we're not in a vanilla JS app, but a lot of these concepts still apply. So skip all the way down to, actually I should have sent you the fragment link. Skip all the way down to initialize the Okta sign-in widget. A lot of this blog post is talking about just sort of setting up a vanilla JS project.
Got it. All right. So we
that
are...
one, yeah. So initialize the sign-in widget. That is, this is what we've done before.
Okay, so this we haven't set up. So let's just go ahead and follow the instructions here. So we'll save that. This should work because it's in component did mount, so that should never fire on the build side. We'll we can check
and then
that. And is the this.signin is the expectation that this is what gets saved as this.signin?
Oh yeah, I think we did that a little bit earlier up in the JavaScript. So yeah, if you scroll up a hair, that whole chunk is where this stuff gets used.
This.signin, got it. Okay, so then it's all right. So if we have our code is creating sign-in, then what we should be able to do is kind of use that same.
Yeah. So what that code is doing is it's saying signin.session.get will return whether or not there's an active session.
Is it the sign-in or the token manager? Because I didn't see
it looks like it's the sign-in object that we initiated with all those params.
But is it this one here?
No.
Okay.
Scroll up to search for session.get. That should find it. Yeah. So that sign-in object is the object we created. And there's a session object within that.
Okay.
So that is the thing. That's the code that's doing there's already a user signed in here, or there's not. So let's show the sign-in page.
Okay. So what we can do then is let's do get and the callback. All right. So we need to kind of let's do const show sign in, and that's going to be the render L, right? So that's going to be all of this.
So as soon as you run that render L, that's just going to show the login form immediately.
Okay. So we will put this inside of a function, and we can. Did I get that right? This one goes to this one. I think that is correct. And then we're going to have down here a signin.session. So there's no, it's not showing me a session on this. Let's give it a shot, but async, we've got the res, and if res.status equals active, we can log active, and then we'll deal with the rest here, else show sign in. All right, let's give this a shot and see what happens. So I've got my localhost, and it says we have an active session. Oh, all right, that's cool. It
already knows because you had just logged in. So if you open it up in an incognito window, it should show you the login form.
Okay, let's open an incognito window. Get that set up. localhost 8000. And there it is.
Sure enough.
All right. That's pretty slick.
That is progress.
That is progress. And let's see if we can just show. I'm just going to show for now what's in that response. And hopefully it'll be exactly what we were seeing previously. And that gives us the ID. So what it doesn't give us.
So yeah, it looks like the claims themselves are there. So you've got a unique user ID, and you've also got the login username.
Okay. Yeah. So this seems good. So what we could show is something like, let's see. How would I want to manage this? I would want to.
You can like put something up in the header bar that says who's signed in.
Oh, I can do this as state. And so, man, this really makes me want to use hooks. Should have looked at that. Okay, so we're gonna do constructor. I'm gonna look this up because I can't remember what the. It is just constructor. Okay, so I'm gonna do constructor props, and then we're gonna do super props, and then I'm going to do state equals user, and we'll make that blank, and we'll set this to false actually, and then down here, if you successfully sign in, what I want to do is we're going to do this set state, and we will set user to, and it was what now?
I think that whole res object was all the user data.
Yeah, it was res dot login.
Login.
So we will set that to res dot login. And then down here, we can do something. I mean, this is all pretty kludgy. So I think if you were doing this in a real app, you'd probably want to put this in context or something. But what we can do is if this dot state dot user, then we are going to. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I want to do it as a ternary because this is React. Then we're going to show logged in as this dot state dot user, and cool. Otherwise we will show null. So let's see if that kludgy little bit of code worked. Okay, so that worked. And then if I go back to my incognito window, go to localhost 8000, it doesn't show that. But if I do log in, and let me go get that password again.
I think there's one extra step we need to do here.
Oh, is this not going to work for me?
Because I think you're not actually handling I think you are logged in now. If you hit refresh, you should be logged in.
But we didn't actually handle the step where it like saves things and gets rid of itself.
Exactly. We didn't handle after the login form response comes back doing something.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So let's see. Think we can do that in 4 minutes?
Depends on what you want to do.
I guess we could do like really kludgy.
That console.log, do something with the session token. I mean, the easy thing is just to reload the window there, but that's cheating.
Oh, it's so cheating, but let's do it. What is it? Just window reload? That doesn't seem right.
No, I think it's window.location.reload.
Window reload.
Now I'm forgetting my JavaScript.
Here. Yep, you were right. So window.location.reload.
So the SDK is like the sign-in widget SDK is doing that whole like token, like it's already remembering it in the cookie and that kind of stuff. So, and we don't have a logout link yet.
Okay. So I have my login set here. I'm going to log in. And that means I need to get back over here. So I will push this in. And okay, so that's kludgy, but it works. Like we would want to do something more like React-y than that. We could easily say, put this into the state, and then once the state is detected, hide that thing. We are, very clearly, I spent a whole lot of time doing dumb stuff up front to get this initially set up. So we ran out of time to do the cool things. So then we can add a logout button. So how would one add a logout button?
There is a method in the widget for that, and I'm trying to find it.
So we'll just do this as a fragment, and we can add the login button right next to it. Boy, it's being really helpful today. Okay. And what I will do is we can just make this. I don't know if somebody who does accessibility knows, is this like a no-no when you're doing logout? I don't actually know like what the right approach is with this kind of syntax. Like it should be a link, but I don't know if that means anything. So here, what I think we can do is sign in dot. What would it be? Sign in dot.
I think there's a logout method somewhere.
Logout?
Trying to find my.
Where was this? Out? Out? No. Does it say out anywhere on the? Would it be like would it be something like session destroy or something like that?
It's. Oh my gosh. Now I can't find it.
Oh, wait. Sign out. Sign in session dot close.
Aha.
Okay. Sign in session dot close, and then that would re-sign it or re-show. So that would give you an
and
error.
You want to.
If there's an error, we want to console dot error show that. Otherwise, and then we would show sign in.
That should work without a page reload. That'll be nice.
Theoretically speaking. Sure didn't. What did I do wrong? Did it
run anything? The function?
That's a great question.
It just...
Module error. Sign in is not defined. I screwed something up. And the reason that it's not defined is because I did not attach it to this, which means I should do... Let's take this out, and we'll do like a this dot handle logout. And up here, I'm going to define that. Oh, this seems bad. This doesn't seem right. This is, okay, don't do this. This is not right, but I want this to work before we shut down. So this is there, and then this seems real wrong. Okay. What I should have done is attached the sign into this and done some things to make that work, but I am definitely not doing that right now because I have made mistakes. So we're going to do this handle logout, and I think what the last thing that needs to happen in here is I'm going to take the event and I'm doing event prevent default because we don't want that.
don't want the URL to change.
Yeah. So assuming this doesn't completely explode, I'm going to go back to the home page, click this button, and it did
Oh, look at that.
indeed log out. Okay, so that is some extremely gross code on my part to make this work, but we did manage after much wailing and gnashing of teeth to get a full kind of setup here. We've got, you can log in. You would be able to do something a little more like this could be handled by a button. You could have that show up and do kind of whatever you wanted. There are a lot of ways that we could improve this. And if this was going to be a production app, obviously we would do a lot to improve this. But I'm pretty excited that, just in the span of 90 minutes, including me doing a handful of things that we had to completely roll back, we were able to put together a kind of an authentication system for the app. And so, what would you do? Like, we're over time here, so we need to wrap up. But once you have this token, then what do you do with it? What is a jot good for? We would use that to pass to our backend, right?
So there's two, actually this flow returned us two tokens. Notice how we requested an ID token and a regular token. So the ID token is just the way that we get the email address of the user, essentially. And that's the thing that gets treated as like the user is logged in. The other token that was returned is the access token. And the access token is the thing you would send to your backend. So if you have an API that you're building, it's going to be serving private data or rendering a dashboard with like actual, server-side rendering because it's protected data. The front end needs to send the access token to the backend, and the access token is the thing that your backend is going to verify and use to process the request.
Okay, and that token that we would get is going to come out of the sign.
It should be in the. It should be in the when the user signed in, that the one that had the to do on it. I think scroll up a bit. That res.status. If you console.log that, I think that's going to show us the access token.
Okay, but how would I get it? Because don't I want to be able to get it from like sign in?
Yeah, it should be in the session now. It should be in the maybe console.log signin.session, because it should just be in that object.
Okay, let's do it. So I've got sign in capital I.
Oh yeah, it's just like a helper, so you have to run the .get.
And was it? I think I saw it.
It should be.
Oh, is it?
You know what?
Token manager .get.
Token manager .get.
And then it would be access token.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try that. And
Not there. Well, if you look at if you work through that sample blog post, the one that I linked at the end there, that has the complete example. So we probably just need to go back through and make sure we're doing all those steps in the right order.
Oh, I know what it is. We never added it, so it wouldn't be in the token manager. Yeah. So yeah, that would be the next step, is like on here before we did this, we would need to add it, and then later in the app we could do the get. So this should actually work.
Yeah.
So let's take a look, and token must be an object with scopes expires at. I screwed something up. I didn't actually pass it the things that we needed. We're so close to this working that I kind of just want to fix it here. So the
res1 is the access token.
Okay. Let's try that one more time, maybe. Still doesn't like it. So I clearly did something wrong. I assume this is like one of those things that we could debug by
Yeah. If we had a little more time.
a little more time, but we are out of time. So, Aaron, thank you so much for coming on. And I will
Yeah, thank you.
we'll follow up with we'll post this on YouTube, a bunch of extra links and things like that. Thanks to everybody for sticking with us. I know this one got a little bit rocky, but it was still a lot of fun for me. So thank you for being here. If you want more information, you can definitely find more at developer.okta.com. And go follow Aaron on Twitter. He is AaronPK. Aaron,
Yeah,
thanks
thanks.
again, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. Have a good one.